Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I come right out of the gate and just pronounced your first name splendidly, didn't I?
You did. It was awesome.
Let's rock and roll. Tell us a little bit about Mylira. Where do we come from? Where do we go? Um, and how do we end up here? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I am what they would call a country girl with a city girl swag. I was born and raised in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and I've basically stayed here my entire life. The person that you see today is someone who has been able to realize that life didn't happen to me, but for me. My story of trauma starts when I was 3. And from there, I've experienced so many different levels of abuse and bullying and self-hate and so much more, that I am a survivor of a suicide attempt. And when I survived that, I made literally my whole entire life plot is to make sure that people never get to that point. And that's why I became a social worker. So I was able to kind of turn my pain into purpose and really being able to not just have the book knowledge, but have the experience. So when people come to me and they're telling me about their struggles, I'm not just looking at it from a clinical standpoint, but I can say, hey, I've been in your shoes before and I know what I did to kind of get out of that space. I'm a lover of life. So if you see me doing anything, I love to dance. So you throw in a song, that's what I do. I'm a family person, hands down. But my entire purpose is to allow for each person I come in contact with to know that they are enough so that they don't think that suicide is their answer.
That's amazing. How do we take that from where the challenges that you had and then creating this beautiful perspective of gratitude and happiness, and knowing that life is for you and not against you? Where do we go from? How do we turn this into real estate?
So the way that you turn it into real estate is your mind is the first thing that you invest in. Our reality has zero to do with what we see, but all to do with what we believe. And if I don't believe that I have valuable enough to make that investment to purchase a home or purchase land or get into residential or things like that, if I don't see that I am valuable enough to take that risk on myself, then who else is going to do that? And there are a lot of people that may go on two opposite ends of the spectrum where they become hoarders of their money because they're afraid to not have, or they become overindulgers and that materialistic things is what they find their value in. So in order for someone to be a successful mogul in real estate, you have to first have a mogul mentality in your mindset. And you have to know that you are valuable enough to invest in yourself and then also do it in a smart way and having the right people in your corner. But that takes a level of trust. If you can't trust yourself, how are you going to trust other people? So for me and what I do as a therapist, as a Reiki master, as a speaker and a coach, is I get people to see that they are enough to dream big, that they dream should feel like it's not attainable, so that every day they do something that gets them one step closer to that. So if that is in the real estate world, if this is someone who may be listening who wants to make an investment and buy their own home, or someone who's actually working in the industry, I'm going to tell you your biggest success is going to start in your mind first.
How do we know when is enough enough?
Man, I tell anybody when it comes to money, I use this analogy. Money is like a bird. If I go outside and I chase a bird, it's going to fly away. But if I stand out in the horizon and I look at it, before you know it, it's a group of birds sitting there taking an amazing bath, talking to each other. And the sight is very beautiful. And that is what money is. But we're taught to go and chase it instead of doing what we are existing to be. Tony Jones, an amazing affirmation artist, she says, we are human beings and not human doers. We're taught to do. We're taught the more I do, the more I get. But if we really think about the things that that money cannot buy, that's important to us, that's when things become enough. When you understand that, you're able to sit down and figure out what level of investment that you want to do. Is it being someone who just purchased your own home, or is it somebody who's going to flip homes? Is it someone who's a landlord? Like, you got to decide what your footprint is going to be, but that goes back to that mindset. Do you think that you're valuable enough to make a valuable footprint, or are you doing it for show? Because it's for show, it's going to end. You know, the finale finally comes, and when I do it for my purpose never dies. So it goes back to people really getting that mindset of like, this is a value decision. This is not just a money making business, but this is a value business where you're creating a safety for people, because people homes are their sanctuary. So when we're talking about the spiritual capacity and real estate and all these things, you got to understand whatever you're doing in the real estate world, you're creating people personal sanctuaries. So based off of your own energy, your own mindset, that is what you're selling. You're not selling a house, you're selling you. You're selling your mindset, you're selling your heart, you're selling what you want to do.
One of the difficult things in long-term rental, in the buy and hold real estate world, is you mentioned you're kind of building or creating these scenarios for other people, for that to be their safety, right? It is so hard when you look at certain ways that certain people that they live, and
Yeah.
it's so hard, and it's like you should not be living like that. I'm not here to judge any of it. If I am here to help, is that a situation where I can help? But there's a whole nother challenges, like there's business,
Yeah.
and then there's help, right? Then there's helping. And it's like, I always tell everybody, we have to be intentional on both. We have to be intentionally business savvy. We have to be intentionally helping people, because when those two blend, it's not good. And there's times when we look into homes, like we'll do a home inspection or something, and it just comes back nasty and just, oh my goodness, how do people live like this? Right? There's some other things happening, so it becomes a challenge. But that is an awesome way to think of it. Like, we're giving them that ability to feel safe. And the choice of free will is a blessing that we all have, to go in one direction or another. When we have an opportunity to say yes or say no, or to do something, to not do something, that's where that person, that family, is making their own choice, and it makes it really difficult. And it makes me think about this why and purpose question. I don't know what my why is, right? I don't know. I feel my purpose right now, Mylira, is to be better than who I was yesterday. I want to be a better father than I was yesterday. I want to be a better leader than I was yesterday. I want to be a better person than I was yesterday. I feel like that's my purpose right now, and that's really driving me and helping me live each day as it is the best day of my life. I don't know what my why is.
I tell anybody your why can change based off of that moment is X. I think we do this thing where we got to find that one thing and then stick to it. And that's not how life works, because things always change. Circumstances are different. The people and the players in that moment is different. But I believe if you know what your purpose is, then your why should be aligned. It's more of an alignment than a knowing a full picture of it.